We have 6 adductor muscles on the inside of the thigh. The first 4 are the larger and more superficial muscles and are probably the better known ones. So we have brevis, longus and magnus, getting their names really from the lengths of the muscles. So brevis obviously is the shortest or the most brief. Longus is longer, and then magnus covers the greatest magnitude. Gracilis is the most superficial, and it's a little bit different to the other adductors because gracilis does cross the knee here, where the other adductors are attaching along the length of the femur and attaching onto the pelvis. So gracilis is not only an adductor, it is also a flexor of the knee. The 2 lesser known ones are the smaller ones up near the top of the pelvis. We have pectineus and we have adductor minimus. Typically these muscles are weak and inhibited in most clients, so we'll have a tendency for the fascia to migrate distally. To compensate for this, we're going to start with our tape anchored proximally. We're going to stretch down distally and anchor distally so that our recoil on the tape is helping to pull back this way. We're also going to use a pretty strong stretch on the tape. We're going to use 25 to 50% stretch so that we have a strong stimulating effect on the nervous system to help overcome the weakness and inhibition in these muscles. We can determine this through orthopedic assessment. If the muscles are actually tight, we will have limited abduction. The leg won't move out as far from the body because these tight muscles will restrict it and reduce range of motion. In that circumstance, you may choose to anchor distally and tape proximally. So for this particular demonstration, we said we're going to go with what is typically presented with. We will see that these muscles are typically weak and inhibited, more so than they are short, tight and facilitated. And as a result, we are going to apply 2 pieces of tape. You could apply 3, or if you wanted to reduce the amount of support, you could have 1 piece of tape that was cut into a Y cut. But for this particular one, we're going to use 2 pieces of tape, which we'll see here in the image. And we're going to go with similar colorings to what is used in our video here. So we're going to use a red piece of tape anchored to the front and a black piece of tape to the back. So for our red piece of tape, we said we're going to anchor proximally, and as always the anchor, the first part, has no tension at all because we don't want to damage the skin. We're then going to stretch the tape down distally, and we're going to stop the first piece of tape a little bit shorter than the second piece of tape. Again, no tension here on the anchor. And then for our second piece of tape, we're going to travel down a little bit further. We're going to go down past the knee because we want to finish with tape on skin rather than tape on tape. So again, our first piece has no stretch whatsoever. Then we're going to have a strong stretch. So we said 25 to 50%, quite a degree of stretch on this. And no tension again on the anchor. And let's just fill this in a little bit. So you can see the way the black piece of tape is going to extend down further than the red piece. And we said the reason for that is because we want to always try and have the last piece of tape finishing on skin rather than finishing tape on tape. So when we apply this, you can see this in the video, and you can also see this in the slides after this particular video as well, and you can manipulate the model. So let's bring in our slide and we'll see what the finished taping looks like. So we can see that we have the black piece of tape traveling down a little bit further, and the red piece of tape is actually masked. It's hidden here by the black piece. The red can go on first. We could actually do that the other way around. It doesn't make too much difference. And again, we said the coloring of the tape is just to distinguish and have a stronger psychological effect. The qualities of the tape are the same, the degree of stretch and so on. There is no difference in strength.